Hello, everyone, and welcome to Booked Out with Brie. I am so freaking excited to be here with you today. I have a very special guest with me. I actually have goosebumps right now because this person came into my world and my life like right after I had started my program. And it's been just such an honor and a treat to get to know her deeply and also just to see what she's done in the last 2 years and what a testament to anything is possible to grit, resilience, finding alignment, keep going, all of that. And so I'm just beyond thrilled to welcome Ellen to the podcast today. Hi, Ellen. How are you?
Hey, I'm so good. And it's so good to be here with you. So
Oh,
fun to chat with you. I'm excited for this.
oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. All you guys, buckle up. So
We've got a lot to share.
we sure do. So let's go into your story. And just some context for you guys who are listening. Ellen is a virtual assistant. Well, I should say you started out as a virtual assistant, and what you've done since, I think, is the biggest permission slip and just painting the picture of what's possible by saying yes to being a VA. So let's go back to your story when you found the VA industry. What made you decide to go for it, and some of the earlier phases of your story and getting started?
Sure. So way back in, it was 2022, 2023, 2023. Anyway, it was a couple of years ago. No, it was 2022. Um, my husband and I found that we had this gap in our budget. And I was in direct sales. I'd been doing it for 10 years, loved it. I still love and use those products, but there was a gap and we needed to fill that gap. And it turns out my husband getting another job was not in the picture. Um, I did try to go out and get jobs myself, at a local grocery store and things like that. And it didn't pan out. So he mentioned the virtual assistant industry, and I thought, no, that's not for me. I don't think I want to do that. But it was like this little seed that was planted. And I searched on Instagram and Brie popped up. And I was like, oh, I really like the energy. I love her energy. Yes, I want to learn more about it from her. So I hopped on a workshop and she presented her program and I thought, oh yeah, okay. Yes, I think could totally see myself doing this because I knew that all of my years teaching, all of my years inside the direct sales industry would totally feed um, this new venture. I knew that everything that I had learned I'd just be able to turn around and use it in my virtual assistant business. So I soon after I joined and launched, um, I gained my first client. I actually had my first client already before I got started with Bree because I shared a little bit about what I was doing with my homeopath, and she's like, "Oh, I could use your help." So I started working for her, and I was like, "All right, I want to do more of this." So I mean, I just started applying like mad to places, and by word of mouth and referral, um, I found myself fully booked and bringing in 4K. And I was only, what, 6 weeks in, I think. Yeah. So I started with you at the end of January. And then by early March, I was bringing in 4K. And I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing. But things didn't go quite the way that I had planned and expected. Um, different clients had different needs and things changed and shifted, um, which is fine. Some of those they just happen in business. Sometimes changes and shifts happen in business, which I've got a lot of those. So we'll be talking more about
Can't
those.
wait.
But I got this feeling and this little nudge in my heart that I wanted to serve the virtual assistant industry. And so Bree was wonderful and walked me through that as well, and putting together a business plan and strategy and getting that launched. And I did that. And I did that for quite a while, the rest of the second half of 2023. But something was out of alignment and I didn't quite know what it was. I tried one way to grow my business, but that was making me really burnt out. And so then early 2024, I tried something different. And that really was out of alignment. And I couldn't figure it out because Bree can attest to this. When I say yes to something, I go all in and I put all of my effort and energy into it. I mean, I said yes, so I'm going to do it and I'm going to make it
Yeah,
happen.
that is a fact. You do. You're like savage. You're like, we're doing this.
I'm
Let's
like,
go. No
yeah,
excuses, no questions. You're in, which
I
is
am
such a
totally
beautiful
in.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. Um, thank you. Um, but it wasn't in alignment either. And I was like, what is the deal? I rebranded even all of that. Um, and over the summer of 2024, just 6 months ago, I realized, all right, I need to stop completely and figure out what in the world do I want to do? And how do I want to move forward? What is this going to look like? Am I just done, which is fine? Or do I move forward? And so I decided, okay, I'm moving forward. I kind of did two things simultaneously. One, I niched down and started Facebook and Instagram ad management. And two, I realized, okay, the vast majority of my business, indirect sales and for virtual assisting, has come through referrals and networking. So I want to teach moms how to do that. I want to teach virtual assistants how to do that specifically. And so that's where I've landed. Now that's where I've landed today. Like, all right, this is what I do. This is what I want to do. I want to teach people how to become fully booked and bring in their dream income, whatever that is, through networking. So,
That's so delicious. And it's so resonant too, because I know coming from direct sales, I think you had this pain point as well. Like you're just so burnt out on showing up online and like feeling like you have to be glued to your phone and responding to people. And I remember that feeling too, like going into the VA industry, I was like, I do not want to talk about this on social media. Like I just want to do my thing. A lot of students come in that way. So I think that's so cool. What you're doing is like you're giving people an alternative path to completely book out their business, but without having to rely on, sharing their life on social media, which a lot of people don't want to do that. And that's
yeah,
absolutely perfect, a beautiful thing.
yeah, yes. And there's so much value I found that comes from talking to businesses in person and building that connection and building that relationship with them because similar to direct sales, behind that one person is
Yes.
tons of people. And
Yeah.
in a business owner, right? If you're a business owner, there's tons of business owners behind that person.
Yes.
And that has been the case time and time again. I have referrals coming out of my ears. I mean, I have clients just like, and I'm shifting, thinking like, all right, what am I doing here? It's kind of like the next leg of what
Mm.
what I'm going to build.
That's fun to
No,
think about.
it is. It's super fun. Super fun to think about. It's like, am I building a small agency or
Yeah.
am I building a referral network? Like, what am I going to do here with this? So, it has been a huge blessing. And yeah,
Mm.
to know that the connections are what is most valuable. And they've come from my in-person networking events.
That's absolutely amazing. Now, question for you. This comes to mind is like there's trade-offs to both, right? Like I think the perk or is it benefit of social media is that you can I don't even know if it's hide behind a screen is the right word, but I feel like there's a buffer between rejection or like it's a
Mm.
little safer to put yourself out
Mm.
there. And
Yeah.
so I'm curious to hear your thoughts on, for someone, and I'm sure you worked through this yourself, someone who's like, okay, I love the concept of booking clients in person, but I feel this contraction when I think about having to pitch myself and like invite people to work with me. So what would you say to that? And also for anyone who might feel that way, what are some of your tips on working through that?
Mm. So my tips on working through that, I think you've got to work on knowing what you offer
Mm,
and trusting that you're the expert in what you offer. And I
mm.
think it all boils down to how you view yourself. And you've got to just be confident in
Oh, we're about to get spicy over here.
because they will sniff you out. It comes across whether you want it to or not. It's just going to come out that you're either you are or you're not confident in what you're offering and whatever service that you're providing.
Ooh, yes, that's delicious. I think, like, honestly, it's the most fascinating reflection in having supported hundreds of students that it all comes down to belief and identity and mindset. Like, you can teach the same person strategy, and the strategy will not work if you do
Nope.
not have that belief,
Nope.
confidence, and conviction.
Yep.
Like, that is
Yep.
pillar number one in business
It
success.
it truly is. I've noticed the same in
Hmm.
coaching virtual assistants. It's the
Hmm.
same thing. The ones that are the most successful are always the one that have a consistent underlying belief that what they have to offer is
Mm.
like the best thing since sliced bread.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
And I'll add this, and I'm curious your reflection on this. Even though obviously the direct sales industry wasn't aligned and, we found a different path, what I would say there is I learned so much about consistency and grit and being okay hearing no. And it's just like you take the emotion out of, you just take the daily actions, what you know you need to do to build your business. And I also see that just like in the confidence piece is when like you're gonna hear no, but the more you ask, the more doors you open and it's the open space to hear a yes as well.
Yep. I 100% agree. Those are the top, I would agree with those top three items that
Mm,
I learned from direct sales.
yeah,
Definitely,
fascinating.
definitely. Because you got to, and there's so much, you have to trust yourself so much as well. So it's like
Mhm.
it really built this foundation for business, not only skills and being business savvy,
Mm,
but yeah, learning to hear no,
yeah,
learning to just push forward and
yeah,
you just keep rolling with the punches, you
yeah,
know, like, all right, I'm going to be consistent. I'm just
yeah,
building that consistency muscle and I'm just going to keep doing it
yeah,
because it's that other piece. That in doing it and being consistent, you are going to reach the goal.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think that mindset too is so huge when you are at any point in business, no matter what you're doing, that mindset is so necessary in order for you to reach your goal.
Yeah,
Like, no,
100%.
no, I know I'm going to hit there and know I'm going to reach it. Yes, writing it down is super helpful, but it's all in your mindset.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like knowing where you're going and then taking the emotion out of it and just doing the thing every day to get there.
Yep.
Like simply.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's go back to networking to book clients because I think that's so cool. And so I'd love to hear from you. What do you notice about the type of clients and the client experience when they come from in-person connections or referrals versus, applying to jobs with open roles and doing proactive outreach?
What I have found is that it is so much easier to book them
Mm,
and to say yes. I don't have long drawn out discovery calls because they already know and have a feeling and inclination that I'm the one that they are looking for.
mhm,
Um, it's it also is really a beautiful thing because there's some commonality already built there because we've seen each other and talked to each other at meetings. So they having that established connection really eliminates the like, oh, I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're going to, perform well. I don't know. It eliminates
Mhm.
lack of trust, because the like no trust factor is already there when you are networking and you're talking to them face to face. It eliminates all that. So you get really, you're able to get down to the most important things on that discovery call
Mhm.
much quicker, much faster. And they take quick action too. Most of the business owners that I have connected with, are they're growing a business and they know that they need the help. Whereas I have also had business owners that are kind of leery, like they're not really sure if they need a VA. And I just don't really engage in that conversation with them very much. I let that be. But the ones that are ready are, I mean, they took
Mhm.
quick, fast action. So, um, yeah, it's been great to see because even a referral, I was just on the phone yesterday with a referral, and she said, well, I was referred to you by somebody, I think, in a local moms group because I was frustrated with my ads. And she said, so I looked at your website and I just knew. I just kind of knew and got the feeling like, oh, I'm gonna really like this person. I'm really gonna like you. And she's like, and it's true. And I did. And
Oh.
it feels really great and really aligned. But having that referral connection and knowing that a trusted person uh, sent them to me, it broke that or broke through that like no trust factor.
Mm.
It's like it already built it. It's like tapping into the like no trust factor that they have with that other person, sets them up really well to have a really great conversation, right? And ready to say, yes, all right, you're the one, let's do this.
I
So,
love that. I love that. Do you have a certain framework or strategy that you follow when you go into these rooms?
yeah, I honestly, I pray for a connection every time I walk in. That's what I do.
Oh
I
my
just
God,
I pray for a connection.
that's so
Like,
beautiful.
all right, like,
Yeah.
all right, let's do this. I've got my business cards ready and I pray for the connection.
Wow.
So I do plan out where I'm going to sit that I make sure I rotate because they have different tables. So I make sure that I'm rotating
Hmm.
and sitting at a different table so I connect with different people
Hmm.
because there's that element too. People like sitting in the same place all the time. Like they always gravitate to the same spot.
Hmm.
Um, and making sure that I talk to and have conversations with at least three business owners.
Okay.
And it doesn't need to be, it can be about anything. And it doesn't need to be about, you and your business and virtual. It could be about life even, but that is a piece of building the like no trust factor, right? So that if they or their business friend brings up a need, like I need somebody to clean out my files, or I need a new online business manager, or I need somebody to help me with my launch or a tech piece, whatever. Then they're thinking of you because they know that's what you do.
Mm.
And it's funny how you don't think that off the top of your head that that's significant or that matters, but it really does because it keeps you top of mind with these people.
Hmm.
If a mom comes to me and says, I want to launch my VA business, well, top of mind is like, oh, I know who does that and who does that really well. And you're going to want to work with this person, right? Like you're going to want to work with Bree. So it's, it's just top of mind. It's not like I talk to Bree every day, I
Yeah.
don't, but we've established this relationship in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, someone that you meet at a networking event once, so they're talking to someone else and they're like, I need support with ads. And they're like, yeah, Ellen, I
Yep.
just met her. Let me
Yep.
let me connect you. Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
I love that. Okay, so I'm a bit of a neuroscience nerd, and what I love about what you said, if you set the intention that you're going to make a connection, like from a neuroscience perspective, that is like doing so much. So your reticular activating system your RAS and you're setting the expectation that you're going to have a connection, you go into that room, your brain's already looking for the connections and it happens instinctively and intuitively. So, woo, that's so
Yep,
good.
yep, yep.
So good.
It happened at the last meeting. So,
Of course it did.
yep.
Of
And
course.
I just landed like the biggest client I've ever had. So,
Yes, that's
yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, another question for you is what about, because I thought about this, I'm like, I bet moms would wonder this. Say that they are home with young children, and it's very hard during the day if their spouse works or whatever for them to get out and go to these in-person events. Like, is there a workaround? Do they take
Ooh,
kids? Do they get a babysitter? I'm sure there's probably evening events too, but
yep.
let's talk about
Yep.
that. Like, how does that work
Yeah.
for a mom with young
Yeah.
kids?
Yes. Well, as a homeschooling mom, I feel you. I get it. Even though my kids are older, we still have those moments. So, yes, and they're with me all the time. So, my I've got two options there. One is do an online networking event. It's very similar. Do online networking events. There are a lot of those around. And my second one would be find one that does meet in the evening.
Hmm.
Find one that does meet in the evening. It eliminates the babysitter, eliminates the need for finding a place for your kids. It just makes it easier on you. And I think it makes it easier mentally as well because you don't have to deal with that. You don't have to think about that. If you do one at home during the day online, you get them situated in some way, pop on a movie or something, a
Hmm.
treat they wouldn't usually get, whatever. Um, yeah, and do it online at home. Yeah, there are a lot of great ones.
That's brilliant. So basically, what you're saying is there's no excuse not to be networking.
That is true. That is very true.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, last question, and then we're gonna go into your like how you help virtual assistants book out their business by networking and the opportunity to work with you. You help them. But last question, of course, I have to ask this because you have gone through my program and you've had just the most amazing transformation with anyone who's curious about it, maybe they're even just curious about being a VA, what would you say to them? Your experience, takeaways, should they be a VA? Should they not be a VA?
Mm.
Like, what comes to mind?
First, you can and you should definitely do that. If you're looking for a way to stay home with your kids and bring in a great income, the virtual assistant industry is a beautiful, beautiful way to do that. Um, and I think the energy and the framework that Bree's program provides is second to none. It is the best because you get set up to be successful no matter what. But the mindset is really huge, which is great because she does work on that a whole lot. So you're going to get that too, so that you get into that framework, get into that mindset, and you get to take it and run with it. So um, you're just going to be set up for success, especially if you're ready for it. If you have any sort of hesitancy, I would say wait on it, wait on it. But
Mhm.
if this conversation makes you think, okay, I kind of want to, I should look into that. You should do it. Take the action and do it because it will be the best investment that you made. And you, I, I think you're going to surprise yourself.
Mm,
Yeah, you're going to
yeah.
surprise yourself greatly.
You know what's my favorite too? Is exactly your story that you start as a VA. This is my story too. You start as a VA, you realize, oh my gosh, I can do this. And then you're like, what's next? What else is possible? Like, I mean, would you have imagined that when you started January 2023 in my program, that you would be now doing ads and also teaching VAs how to network and book out their business?
Absolutely not. No, no. And all that has come from it. And realizing just how much my skills and what I know how to do and exactly how that translates to helping another business. I never would have guessed that. never,
Yeah,
like,
so fun.
yeah, because you really help people see, okay, this means you could actually do so much. I did a training to be an online business manager. You know, ventured into all these different things. And yeah, it's been great. It's because I was able to see like, oh, okay, I have all these skills and I can hone in on them. I can make them better. I can improve on them so much.
Mm,
So yeah,
yeah. Something else I really appreciate about you too is that you say yes to opportunities. Like you feel and you're like, okay, let's move. And that is such a special thing. That's why you've been so successful. You put yourself
yeah,
in rooms, you open doors.
yeah, yeah. Well, thank
Mhm.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. So, for anyone who's listening, and let me clarify too, do you help brand new VAs launch, or is this for VAs who want to book out their business a different way?
That is a great question. This is for the virtual assistant who
Mm,
has a client or two
okay.
and really wants to grow and scale. They want to become fully booked and maybe they're hitting a wall or they know that social media is not for them.
Mm,
Um, but they really want to book out and they really want to do it a different way. And they do like connecting with people, right? I think having that element of liking and connecting with people um, needs to be there. Knowing that you want to do something different, um, and you've already got a client or two, that's who this is for. That's
okay.
who this is for. You extrovert or introvert, it doesn't matter because I am an introvert,
Yeah,
and you can still be successful doing this. Yeah.
amazing. Amazing. So, tell us then, how do you help VAs? Do you have a program? Is it a one-to-one
Yeah.
work?
So I do one-on-one coaching. And what I do, we work together for 3 months, and you get a monthly blueprint every single month. So we meet for an hour every month and we talk about action steps. We create a whole plan for you based upon where you're at, your needs, everything. Um, if you if you need a portfolio, if you need revamping, all those things, we cover it. And then we talk every day on Telegram
Mm,
through throughout the month. So anything anything that comes up, whether that's like, hey, I tried a networking event, it worked great, it didn't work great. We talked through all of it. Um, yeah, and you get access to me. There is a course too that explains all of that as well. You get lifetime access to that. Um, yeah, that's that. Yeah.
beautiful. I love
Yeah.
it. So we will link in the show notes, you guys, the link to connect with Ellen if you want to learn more, figure out if this is a good fit for you. And that is that correct that that's the next best step for anyone?
That's the next best step. Yes. So I offer a complimentary strategy call. And so on that strategy call, we talk about your passions. So we map out your passions, um, talk about what you've done before, and I give you 2 to 3 action steps to take, um, just to provide you some framework and opportunities for growth. Um, so that would be the next best step. So if you are thinking, oh my gosh, yes, I need this to book out my business, and I really would love to do it a different way that doesn't require me to be on social media, and creating those genuine, real connections with business owners. Yep. The
Amazing.
strategy session is your next step.
Amazing. All right. Well, that will be linked below. So anyone who wants to chat with Ellen, definitely grab some time. And Ellen, thank you so much for hopping on with me. I feel like we could probably just
You know.
chat for like 2 hours. We'll have to do that another time, but this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so
It
much.
has been. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome, you guys. All right. Well, definitely reach out to Ellen. Thank you so much for listening. Would love to hear your feedback. Leave a review of the podcast. Send me a DM on Instagram, and I will see you for the next episode.